Turns out a former Secret Service agent has claimed that Trump is too fat to have reached for the steering wheel. Now, it's unclear whether this is the same Secret Service agent that wanted to testify or part of the Secret Service that wants to testify to the January 6th committee. But one Secret Service agent did say it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be unlikely that the 6'3", nearly 250-pound Trump, who the agent noted, quote, is not the most agile human being, could pull off the move. And then they continue, Trump is not a little guy, right? And the space to actually be able to lunge towards the wheel is not that big, the former agent said. Speaking on background to Insider, I don't mean to sound disparaging to the former president, but just his girth would prevent him from actually getting to the steering wheel. Now, I don't ever want to hear Trump and girth in the same sentence, so let's put that aside. But I do want to say that I don't think her testimony, and Brett, you were watching it live and covering it live, her testimony didn't say that he actually grabbed the steering wheel, which yes, arguably would be a big, long maneuver, difficult, you'd have to be fast, but just attempted to, and then his wrist was grabbed. So both of these things could be true.
Yeah, and still, like it's a fun story, but the main thing that they're trying to do with these hearings is connect a bunch of dots.
Yeah.
And there is no bigger, more girthy dot than when Trump said to the deputy attorney general, just say that the results of the election were corrupt and let me and the Republican politicians do the rest.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the conspiracy. That's the heart of the conspiracy. As I mean, Sean Hannity's trying to discredit everything. No wonder Sean Hannity was writing texts to the president saying, this is bad, this is horrible. Fox News is trying to get you to focus on anything else. And they're grateful that there is a story about ketchup on the wall and whether a baby president can reach the steering wheel with his big boy arms.
Yes.
And I don't think that makes him look good anyway. And the people to whom this makes Trump look good are not in play politically at all.
No.
I think she's a good-looking person on TV telling a convincing, compelling story. And sadly, that's what most of America responds to.
Absolutely. And it's true that sometimes you need these anecdotes to get people to pay attention, but that leading even that day, let's say that these three pretty like these wild allegations and these wild stories, the ketchup, the I don't mind that people are armed, and the trying to grab the steering wheel so that he could go to the Capitol. Of those three, even not just Fox, but obviously if and when they cover it, but most mainstream outlets are leading with what? The ketchup, the least like awful thing about it, the most ridiculous, just the stupid little, he threw food at the wall. That makes utter sense. But trying to get to the Capitol and the implications of that, to me, are much bigger, to say nothing of really the point that you made, which was, hey, attorneys general, just say it what looks fishy and we'll do the rest. In fact, me and SCOTUS will do the rest.
Right. He's knowingly lying to all of America and soliciting others in positions of power in the Department of Justice to misrepresent the truth, to lie to America. That's part one. That's motive. That is knowingly. And despite whatever Ben Shapiro says, he doesn't have intent to eat a ham sandwich. That's all BS. He absolutely had intent to do that. And then the rest of the hearings are, he knew there were armed people for an armed insurrection, rebutting testimony that this was just unarmed people doing whatever. And he had plans, that's elsewhere in the Hutchinson testimony, that Trump had plans to go with the armed insurrectionists to the Capitol and asked the Secret Service to do advance work on two possibilities. One, speaking outside the Capitol, and two, speaking inside the Capitol with the protesters / rioters / insurrectionists. This is all come to light as a result of these hearings. And despite how much Trump wants you to say, no, 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 don't pay attention to that, whether this presents itself in attack ads from here to the time Trump runs for president, or in additional subpoenas, which it has, raids of people's houses who are involved, or it's going to come to light, and it needs to come to light because all of right-wing media is trying to keep it under wraps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, she's brave as hell. And now we know just how close we were to a real coup. I was grateful for JR to kind of like hit me to that as I'm thinking, yeah, no, him standing in front of everybody, that could have done it. Like him forcing his way in. Imagine how much harder these nut jobs would have fought if he had done that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.